to around 30 thereabout. My focus is on character development and career guidance. My topic, as you know, is on excelling on the stages of life. Excelling. Those who were here, I talked about the stages of life. I don't want to repeat that. But in a nutshell, those who were there, can you just remind me the stages of life that we discussed? What were the first stage? The morning stage, and the afternoon stage, and the evening stage. So the morning stage is starting from what year to what year? 1 to 30, 1 to around 25, 26, thereabout. And then the afternoon, 26 to around 52, thereabout. Basically, the morning stage is the stage where you are learning, as a young man from maybe standard 1 up to university level. I'm sure some of you are at secondary and some of you are at university level. That's fine. I target young people because from a neurodevelopment standpoint of view, um, um, the frontal lobe, which is the front part of the brain, is not yet fully developed. The frontal lobe is also called the prefrontal cortex, which is the front part of your brain. It's not yet fully developed until the age of 25. How many of you are 25 and above and below? All of you. So you are not yet well developed, guys, in as far as this part of the brain is concerned. Now, this part of the brain is concerned with decision making decisions. That's why sometimes as adults, we sometimes doubt your sanity sometimes because of the decision that you make. Are you getting what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You are not yet fully developed. You need guidance as young people. Because if you are not guided, you may end up making a lot of mistakes that will leave permanent scars. I'm excited to talk to young people because I know what it means to be a young person. You want to experiment with this, experiment with that. And in the process of experimenting, you make a lot of mistakes. Right. It means below the age of 25, young people do not understand the law of cause and effect. They can't tie cause and consequences. That's why they need what? To be guided. Our education system does not teach us a lot in as far as guiding the young people. They only concentrate on academics, right? So my presentations are tailored towards identifying your talent and developing your talent and then deploying your talent. The 3 Ds. Identification, development, and deployment of your talent. Unfortunately, in schools, they don't do that. Now, there's a quotation that I want to read by Joseph Benningscan. He says, if we can save the youth energy from being depleted by negative tendencies, if we can harness it for the right purpose and give them proper orientation, like what we are doing right now, I am sure they will bring about universal harmony and establish global peace that brings economic stability and development. The energy and agility within the youth need to be recognized and tapped and directed to higher heights. We need to scale up programs and amplify youth programs like this one. I'm happy that your church really realizes the importance of youth. That's why they are coming up with such programs. There's a quotation that was written by Oliver Tambo. He says, the children of any nation are its future. The children of any nation are its future. A country that does not value its youth does not deserve its future. This is very true because the harvest of any farmer. How many of you are farmers? Are there any farmers here?
Part-time.
What?
Part-time.
Part-time farmers. Yes. Now, it says the harvest of any farmer sits on the nursery. Right. So your nursery determines your harvest as a farmer. So you have to concentrate on your nursery. It's the one that is going to determine whether you're going to harvest more or less. Right. So this is the reason why your church is focusing on young people. Without proper grooming, mentoring, and guidance of the youth, the future of the church is doomed. The future of the country is doomed. So today I will speak on the subject of excellence. How many of you young people would want to grow up and become successful adults so that your kids are proud of you? That this is my father, I'm proud of my father. How many of you are like that? Some of you are not very sure. You're not sure, my friend. What are you not sure of? You don't want to be successful in life? You want to be? Okay. Right. So I want to first of all define what excellency is. What is excellency? Anyone would want to? Yes, sir.
I think it's succeeding in every challenge.
Succeeding in every challenge. Any other? Excellency. Right. Sometimes to understand the meaning of a word, you may also want to consider the opposite of the word, which we call what in English? The opposite of a word is called what? Antonyms, isn't it? Yes. The anonym of the word opposite to excellency is mediocre. Excellence means top notch.
Yeah.
It means exquisite or extraordinary or exceptional. So we are saying we want you guys to be exceptional in life, to be top notch, to be cut above the rest. That's what we want. You know, every human being is attracted to excellence. Excellence needs no introduction. If something is excellent, it does not need any introduction.
Yeah.
Actually, something that is excellent advertises itself. You don't need to go around to say, buy this product, buy this product. If the product is good, you don't have to advertise it. It advertises itself. So excellence is impactful. And God expects his children to be excellent because he himself is an excellent God. We are serving an excellent God. Right. According to Ben Castle, in his book, Gifted Hands, and I would recommend you young people to read that book, Gifted Hands. Very, very powerful book. It's going to inspire you. Right? He says you can be green in color with yellow spots coming from Mars. But as you coming from Mars, I want to just read it as it is. Coming from Mars, but as long as you have what people need, as long as you have what people need, instead of beating you, they will beat a path to your house or to your home. Why will they beat a path to your home? Because you have something to offer. You have something valuable to offer. So as a young person, make sure that you develop value in yourself. So that instead of people beating you, they beat a path to your place to find you because you have something of value to offer. You know, you may not be good looking. You may be coming from a tribe that people look down upon. But as long as you have something of value, people will always seek for you. You know, when a doctor is good, when a doctor is really good, it doesn't matter whether that doctor is a Muslim or is a Hindu. As long as that doctor is very good, people will always go to that doctor and seek for what? For help. And I've never seen a patient who goes to a doctor and say, "Doctor, before you attend to me, are you Hindu or are you a Christian?" No one. As long as you have, maybe you have gone all over and you have not found help, and then you are told that that doctor is the one who's going to help. You have no business to ask that doctor whether he's Hindu or he's a Muslim. All you have to do is what? Seek attention because that doctor is good. Right? Proverbs 22 verse 29 says, Do you see someone skilled in their work? So skilled there means what? Do you see someone what? Skilled. Or do you see someone what? Excellent in his work. They will serve before kings. They will not serve before ordinary men. So if you are excellent in your skills, in your work, you are not going to serve ordinary people. You are going to serve the kings. Proverbs 18 verse 16 says, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. It brings him before what? Great men. We are going to read some few verses, very few verses, and we're going to look at Daniel and Joseph as our example, as the excelling youth. Joseph and Daniel and his friends. I'm reading here Daniel 1 verse 3 to 4. When King Nebuchadnezzar wanted young men to train in Babylon, this is what he says. Then the king ordered Ashkenaz, his chief of staff, to bring to palace some of the young men of Judah's royal family. Now, these are the criteria that you actually gave them out to say, I want someone from the royal family, right? Children in whom there was no blemish. In other words, they did not have any physical defect. Handsome. Children who were what? Handsome. Skillful in all wisdom. And cunning in knowledge. In other words, they must be skilled in knowledge. Well informed. That's number 5. Quick to understand. And ability in them to stand in the king's palace. In other words, they must have mannerism of high places. Right. So he was to teach them the language of and literature of the Babylonians. Right. So one of the criterion says they must not have blemish, and they must be what? They must be what? They must be? No, before cunning knowledge. Blemish and handsome. Now what can you do if you are created the way you are created? Can you change yourself? Hello? Can you change yourself? You can't. But I'm here to tell you that beauty and handsomeness can be created. Did you hear what I said? Being handsome and pretty can be created. It can be manufactured. How? How can it be manufactured? Yes, sir.
Like we started, we spoke of excellence. When you are excellent, it means no one looks at
Your physical.
nature.
Yes.
They only look at what you have or what you can give.
Thank you very much. When God created trees, He did not create furniture. But if you look at the furniture, it has been polished coming from a what? From a tree. So God created you the way you are, but you have also some work that you can do to make yourself look like furniture. How can you do that? Yes, sir. Bathing. Yes. You must be friendly to water. You have to bath. That's very true. All right. What else? Yes, sir. Yes. Being aware of what to wear when you're going for occasion. Don't dress anyhow. You understand? So, in other words, your looks are very important. Well groomed. You have to shave your hair, cut your hair nicely. You understand? So that you look good. Hello? You cannot just attend occasions and have the map of East Africa. You ever see the map of East Africa? Where someone sweats until, the whole back now is, then you see the map of East Africa. No, you can't do that. You have to be deliberate the way you look. You understand? well groomed, nice perfume, smell nice, isn't it? Smell nice. Yes, that's good looking. So you are actually manufacturing how you look by the way you dress. You know, these days, during our days, we used to have those suits, those open ones that will go like this, whoops. You can't put on whoops now. You have to put on these slim ones, slim fit. They call what?
Yeah.
Slim fit.
Yes.
Yes. Even at my age, I look a bit younger, isn't it? Yeah. But if I was putting on that whoops and I'm stripping everywhere, what would you say? That this old man, what does he want? Right. So you have to look smart. I know very well during funerals in the villages, there's sometimes self-appointed ushers. Someone just appoint himself to become an usher. And then he'll be making people sit. In a funeral arrangement, in most cases, you find chairs like these ones, sofas like of some sort. Then you find plastic ones there, benches. Then there, that side, there are stools. And then there are pieces of log. Then there are bricks at the back. Right. So when you come dressed nicely, the self-appointed usher will grab you and say, "Come beside my brother." Then he makes you sit on a sofa or a nice chair, usually under a tent. Right? And then if you come, you know yourself that you are maybe a business person, but you are not well dressed. And then you just go and sit on the sofa. You see the self-appointed usher coming to you like this. Say, "Excuse me, my brother. Sorry, can you just come beside?" Why? Because you are sitting where you are not supposed to what?
Appearing.
To sit. Then you say, that's right. You see where those bricks there. And then you feel offended. You say, how can someone make me sit on a brick? It's because the way you are dressed. You are addressed the way you dress. So the way you dress is very important. Don't just dress casually. Especially when you're going for an interview. I've interviewed quite a number of young people sometimes for become who be joining our institution. I'm also part of the panel sometimes. And you find young people coming there, you want to become a teacher, but the way you are dressed does not show that you are a teacher. It must show that you are really you are aspiring to become a teacher. The way you are dressed. I follow what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So you lose your job when someone just looks at you and says, "This one, you want to be a teacher, standing in front of kids, teaching kids like this." Always. Then you lose the job because of the way you are. So your appearance is very important. So Nebuchadnezzar was saying, they must have no blemish and must be handsome. That's what it means. So as a young person, sometimes I know you guys will be looking for going for interviews. I am saying dress smartly, shave the hair, shave everything, cut your hair, dress nicely, depending on the job that you are applying for. And then you go. Very, very important. So when you dress nicely, you minimize controversy. People just will not know whether you are belong to this class or not. Right. Let's say here we are picking chairs at the end. Say, no, take these chairs, put them there in that hall. Who are they going to ask to pick chairs? Will they ask me?
No.
Hello?
No.
Who do they ask first? They look at the way you are dressed. They say, "Can you just put those chairs?" Me, I'll be the last one to pick. You can't pick someone putting on a suit to chairs. I follow what I'm saying. So I am saying the way you look is very important. Right. Then he says they should have ability to stand in the king's palace. They must have the ability to stand in the king's palace. In other words, they must have mannerisms befitting high places. You must have mannerism befitting high what? Places. In other words, when you are visiting a high place, there are certain mannerisms. Even when you are greeting somebody, there are certain way you greet. Understand that, my brother? You are greeting someone from a high class, right? Like this is how you do it. Hello, sir. How are you? But now, if you do this, you want to dislocate someone's shoulder? That's not. Those are not mannerism for high places. Even when you are hugging, hug politely. Not like, someone is not very sure whether you want to lift him up or what. So those are mannerism befitting what? High places. Even when you are laughing, there's a laughter for palace and a laughter for village. How do you laugh at the village? When you are with your cousins and the like. Yes, sir. How you laugh, mister?
Yes. Hey.
You know what?
Hey.
That's village.
Hey.
That's village. Don't do that in high places. In high places, you just isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't say quack 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 until people see your epiglottis. You don't do that. Even when they give you food, let's say they give you a drink. Here's a drink. You don't just say "Koo, koo, koo, koo," and throw away the bottle. That's a mannerism for village. In high places, what do you do?
Let's take a sip.
Sip. Put it there. As if you don't want. Don't show that you are from the village, you are thirsty. You are seeing a drink for the first time. Mannerism befitting high places. Right. And then Daniel 1 verse 12 says, give us nothing but vegetable to eat and water to drink. These young people, these young men, they refuse to eat from the king's table. So, in other words, I am saying to you, don't eat anyhow. Thank you. And anyhow, but eat somehow. Don't just eat anyhow. As a young person, don't just eat anyhow. Especially the Seventh-day Adventist. The spirit of prophecy and the Bible guides us what to eat and what not to eat. Isn't it? Yes. So, if you eat anyhow, you will end up eating tablets like food. Our principal used to take 15 tablets a day. 15. It's like she's eating food. She had BP, she had diabetics, she had other conditions. Right. So I am saying as a young man, you must be very careful because you're healthy. You need your healthy later. Actually, Ellen White says, before I talk about what Ellen White says, the director of your menu is not your tongue, but your mind. Ellen White says, in the tombstone, it must be written, killed by food. And indeed, most of us are killed by what we eat. In most cases. I've seen people with a very big stomach. My brother, nothing there. That big stomach where it enters 3 seconds before you enter the room. It's already in. I can say 3 seconds. I also used to have a big stomach, but I do exercise, so that I keep myself in shape. So we are saying, be careful what you eat. These boys were not carried away by the festivity and proclivity of the king's food. They were very careful on what to eat. So I am saying as a young person, as you grow up, be careful what you eat. Don't just eat anyhow. Just because there's food, you just kill yourself. No. So Daniel determined himself that he will not defile himself by the king's food. They were not carried away by the king's food. So if you are just casual about what you eat, you end up becoming a casualty. And then I like also this one. He says, it says here, skillful in all wisdom and cunning in knowledge. Skillful in all what? Wisdom and cunning in knowledge. In other words, they were well-rounded and informed. Well-rounded and what? Informed. Right. You know, these days we have a lot of shallow youth. Youth that are shallow. Very, very shallow. If you try to ask them about issues, really issues, maybe involving the economy,